Did you just turn 18? Or maybe you just graduated college and now you're planning to move out of your family home or get your own place and, start paying taxes. Disgusting. But good. Then this video is for you. Because in today's video, we're going to be talking about some adulting 101 tips. These are some tips that I compiled based on my life experiences, honestly, some lessons I've learned, and things that I just think are really important to start right away, right off the bat, as soon as possible. Some of these things you can start, even younger than 20. This is mostly focused on people who, turning into adults, young adults. I am still a young adult and I'm still learning, believe me. But I think it would be helpful for some people to start to think about some of these things and, get the brain gears turning. So for some of these, I'm not going to go too in depth because I don't think I'm the professional to be doing that. But I have researched a ton through YouTube, through Google. There's amazing professionals that you can just Google and find how-to videos. And that's what I recommend doing for some of these because I don't know if I'm the best person to be explaining them, but I definitely want to put them forth so you start to think about them and just know, I should be doing that. I need to research how to do that. I need to talk to someone who knows how to do that for some of these financial things. Okay, so now you're planning to move out. You're like, I need to get out of my parents' house or I'm going to lose my mind. I understand. But now you're looking at apartments and you're like, how much can I afford? Well, maybe you have a job already and you have a certain monthly income. Well, there's a special rule of thumb, and this is the average across the United States, but I'll link below the website where you can calculate this based on your location, and the formula and stuff will be down there. But basically, there's a rule of thumb. 30% of your monthly income should be set aside to pay rent, meaning you probably don't want to get an apartment or, a place to live that's over that 30% because then you can't really afford it. And the reason being is, say you make $1,000, monthly, and rent is $600 monthly. That's way over that 30%. And maybe now you can't pay a car payment. Maybe you can't pay other bills. Maybe you can't afford to eat that month. Maybe something comes up and you don't have the extra spending to pay for that. So that's why there's that rule where you want to, keep your rent down to 30% of your monthly income so you can afford to pay your other bills, so you can afford to eat and live and do other things. Make sure you research and make sure you can afford the monthly rent per your monthly income. And the calculation to help you figure that out is you take your monthly rent, so how much that potentially would cost per month, and then you divide that by how much your income is per month. So say your rent's potentially $600 and you make $2,000 a month. So you're going to take 600 divided by 2,000 and then you're going to multiply that by 100 and you're going to get a percentage. And in this case, that's 30%. So say you already know I make $2,000 a month, I can afford $600 of rent per month. But potentially you have to factor in other things. Maybe there's a health issue. Maybe you have to pay medical expenses. Maybe you have to pay for other things. In that case, you might want to find a roommate, find a place with roommates, and then maybe you can get your rent down even lower than 30%. So tip number 2. So this is going to help you find an apartment in your price range, and maybe if you're looking for special accommodations, utilities, blah, 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 this will also help you find that. I think this varies per state. I live in Chicago, so if you have an agent, so my tip is to find an agent to help you get an apartment. In Chicago, if you have an agent, then you don't have to pay the agent to help you find an apartment. Once they help you find an apartment, the landlord of that apartment pays the agent for their services to you. And that's just a rule in Chicago, but it might vary state per state. So make sure you know the rules in your location, in your state. And if the rule in your state is that the landlord has to pay the agent, and the agent is trying to make you pay them, be really sketched out and cautious in that scenario because you might be getting scammed. When I was looking for my first apartment where I was trying to live all by myself, I wouldn't say fresh out of college because I had my apartment with my roommates for one more year after college. And then I went out to look for my own place because I want to live by myself. And I ended up finding an agent. There's tons of agents available in the city. And the one I've picked was really great because basically what happens is with the agent is you get on a phone call into an email thread and they ask you a bunch of questions. What is your price range? What are you looking for? The location? Is there special, utilities that you want to have available at the apartment building or location? Transportation, what are you looking for? Train, bus, do you have a car? They're going to ask you all the questions and they're going to find you your perfect location. They're going to help you find an apartment in your price range, which you can afford, and hopefully with the amenities that you're looking for. In my situation, mine was amazing. My agent, she's like, okay, on this date, we're going to go look at a bunch of apartments. I swear, we looked at like 10 apartments in one day, and they were all in my price range. Maybe there was like one more expensive one, but it had like extra utilities, extra features that I wanted. So she handled basically all the work. We just looked at apartments for one day, and then I found the perfect apartment in my price range and what I was looking for in the location I wanted. So that's what I'm recommending for you. Get an agent, and hopefully it'll help you save some money and find what you're looking for. Because before I had an agent, I was looking at all the rent websites, Zillow, apartments.com, blah, 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 all of them. And it was so difficult to, email the landlord, try to set up a date to look at the apartment. By the time you sign up to get a date, it's sold out or whatever. So get an agent. Okay, so tip number 3, learn how to cook. I don't care what the excuse is, blah, blah, blah. You are on YouTube right now. Go onto the search bar after this video and search up your favorite recipes or your favorite foods. Search up the recipes and then learn how to cook them. It is really not that hard. There is no excuse for anyone in 2022 to not know how to cook. You save so much money. One of the biggest expenses for so many young adults and adults is going out and eating food out at restaurants and things like that. Just learn how to cook. You'll save yourself so much time, and maybe you'll discover that you have a new favorite hobby. Cooking became one of my favorite hobbies, I believe. And you're probably like, oh, inflation, grocery stores are becoming more expensive. Well, so are restaurants, people. And then something I do recommend, depends on what grocery store you go to, but if you have like a main statewide grocery store, like in Chicago, we have Jewel Osco, and there's a Jewel Osco app. Double check to see if your grocery store has an app, because at least on the Jewel Osco app, I have so many things that I love about it. You can make a grocery list of all the things you're going to get. There's coupons you can clip on the app. It shows all the deals for that day. So when you're going to the grocery store, maybe instead of buying, apples for $2, you can buy oranges for 50 cents. That's just an example, not actual pricing. But if your grocery store has an app, double check to see if you can, maybe get deals on that. So that's a helpful little tip. Tip number 4, and this one might be a little controversial. It's not that controversial, but it's something that I think is really important and a lot of other people think is important. But actually do this because it's good for your health. You're going to save money on hospital and doctor bills in the future. And the tip is to exercise. I am so serious right now. Just go for a hot girl walk, a hot boy walk, go for a run, do some push-ups, do some sit-ups, do anything to get some exercise. Go for a bike ride. Go rock climbing. Join a sports team. I don't know what it is, but you need to be getting your exercise, because if you're sitting on your computer all day, you're working all day, you're not being physically active, your body is actually just really shutting down, and that's going to cause you a ton of issues long-term and emotionally. once I started really focusing on my health and exercising weekly, my stress levels really decreased. My anxiety really decreased. It really helps push the serotonin out like dish. You're just going to be generally happier, less stressed, more calm person once you start working out. Your body really helps with your mind. I swear to God. I swear on it. Even if you don't have a lot of money, even if you don't have any friends, this is going to help you be in the right mindset to achieve the things you want to achieve. So that's a quick little tip. Tip number 5, have hobbies. You're going to want to have a hobby because, first of all, it's way cheaper than going out every weekend to the club. Number 2, maybe that can help you, get a second income if you become really good at your hobby. And I know some people don't want to turn their hobbies into incomes, into a job, but it's good to have multiple streams, and learning a new trick, learning a new lesson, learning a new, something is going to help you long term. Again, it's not just have a hobby, keep learning, keep trying to advance in certain skills that will help you in the future, whether you know it yet or not. So whether that's painting, whether that's video editing, maybe it's with the sports thing, maybe you're on a soccer team, maybe you're on beach volleyball. Get a hobby, get multiple hobbies. It's good to be able to do multiple things, to be able to activate your mind in multiple ways, and you'll just be in general an overall happier, mentally stable person with that. So you're not mindlessly scrolling on TikTok or watching YouTube videos all day. That's not a hobby. Watching The Bachelorette every week all day long is not a hobby. I am so sorry if you do that. I'm not judging you. I'm just telling you, do something else. Truly. I'm not saying that it's bad to watch YouTube. I watch YouTube a lot, but that's not my main hobby. I do that as maybe a supplement. Maybe I'm tired. Maybe I'm done with my hobby. I don't feel like doing it right now. I'm going to watch YouTube. I'm going to relax, chill out. You get what I'm saying. Just get a hobby and expand on that. You had childhood dreams, childhood hobbies. Pull back from your childhood. What was that? You like drawing? Try drawing again. You'll still probably like it. And that's the truth. You'll become good at it. Watch YouTube videos. Learn how to do it. Develop a skill. It's good for you. Tip number 6, make a budget. Back to the non-fun adult things. Make a budget, you guys. It's really important you're not overspending. And what you're going to be budgeting in? How much monthly income do you have? How much do you pay in bills? Bills including rent, utilities such as gas payments, Wi-Fi payments, phone payments, maybe you have a car payment, health bills. Factor all that in, any other bills, and then you're left with maybe a chunk of money, which you can, spend on food. That's necessities, food, and then maybe you're left with a little bit more. And what you're going to do with that is either you're going to have a little bit of fun, not too much fun, and you're going to put it into savings or investing accounts, because you need to invest your money. Because when you invest your money, you get compound interest, which means your money is growing faster rates each year when it's in an investment than when it's, just sitting in your bank account, not with a high interest rate, or, you spent that money at Starbucks, so now you don't got no money. And then when you're old and wrinkly and your back's broken and you can't afford it, it's like,
why couldn't I have invested when I was 19?
You would be a millionaire. That's right, a millionaire. Start investing as soon as possible. And you're probably like, where do I start? First thing you do, start a Roth IRA. That's right, a Roth IRA. I am not a financial consultant, but it's common knowledge that you want to start a Roth IRA, and you're going to, if possible, you're going to max it out $6,000 per year, and maybe you're 18, you're like, I do not have $6,000 per year. That is okay. Start small. At least do $5 a month if you can do that. Do not go to Starbucks and buy the $5, mocha latte, cappuccino, macchiato thingy mabobber. Invest that into your Roth IRA. But you open a Roth IRA and that's not where you stop. Nope, you open it, you put money in, you're like, okay, I'm done. No, that's not what you do. You need to invest it within your Roth IRA. So that means you have to choose stocks to invest that money into. Some common beginner stocks include ETFs, or exchange traded funds, which basically means these are stocks that are comprised of hundreds and hundreds of companies around the country. There's some that include companies from around the world, and it's better because you diversify your portfolio more easily with this ETF. And, if one company falls, you're not all into that one company, and you have a little leverage with the other companies that you're invested in within that ETF. So I recommend an ETF, and I recommend doing more research on YouTube because, again, I am not a financial consultant. I am not a professional, but I do know that this is important and that I recommend you start thinking about these things and do your research. Graham Stephan, YouTube. Everyone loves him. I love him. Go watch some videos from him after this one, of course. And I'll link some more information below that could be helpful on Roth IRAs, ETFs, and maybe some helpful YouTube channels for you to watch on finance. And also, you'll be thanking yourself when you're 30 if you start as young as possible on your investments. Trust me. I wish I started sooner, and I'm only 24. And the amount that I have invested, I'm like, wow, thank you, Maya from 2 years ago. I forgot what number we're on, what tip this is, but this is going to be my last 2 tips, and they kind of go together, I would say. Half of it is keep learning, keep educating yourself, keep building your skills and expanding your knowledge in all types of ways, what you're interested in, what you're not interested even in some cases. Just force yourself to be open-minded and open to learning and figuring things out, because it's going to help you long term. Once you figure out something in one department, then you're like, oh, I can apply this into a different department, and that'll help you so much. This kind of goes into the last tip, which is try to have multiple streams of income. Whether that's having a side little hustle, like maybe you make necklaces and you sell them on Etsy. Maybe you become a YouTuber and you become really good at making videos and you get monetized. Maybe you have a lemonade stand. I don't know. Again, do some research, see amazing side hustles, easy blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Maybe you're a Fiverr, you do Fiverr. You have a listing of your skills. Maybe you're a graphic designer. Maybe you know how to copyright. There are so many potential side hustles you can have. Do some research, figure out what you're interested in, and see how you can monetize that interest. And maybe long term that can become a multi-million-dollar business all of a sudden and you didn't even realize. But always try to expand your portfolio. Don't just stick to your 9-to-5 job, because you never know what's going to happen. Maybe that falls through and you're like, wow, thank God I have my 2 other side hustles, because I can still pay rent and find a new job so I can go back to living how I was a month ago. Always, stay open-minded. Always try to find other ways to get income and be smart. Okay guys, this is the end of the video. I really hope you guys found these tips helpful, or maybe it sparked some realizations in you, like, okay, I need to start doing research more on this topic or this topic, and hopefully it did something where you're like, I need to start thinking about that and potentially doing that. You enjoyed this video and you want to see more, please watch my other videos, like, subscribe, follow, press the bell button so you are notified when I do upload a new video. And thank you guys. Have a great rest of your week.